Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Average Joe Dividends YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the stocks that I picked after I deposited $100 into my taxable M1 stock brokerage account. And that's what I'm showing right now. So I took the $100 and I split it 5 ways and bought more fractional shares. And we'll get into what my picks were, and we'll also go over the new dividend income that I'll be receiving as a result for the portfolio. We'll do a little historicals as well. So let's go to the 1 year look back here. We can see that we started right around $205,000 and we're up over the 275 mark, pretty much an all-time high for this portfolio with the election news. We can see the money weighted return below is 29.65%. And we'll go to the 3-month view, up 11.18%. Had some ups and downs in here, but mostly up. And then over the last month, we had a high here October 18th. Then we dropped down end of October, and then we're flat here, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're back up. So the last week, and then last day, you can see just the upward climb, just with some good news, at least for the stock market. You can see the results of that, up over 2%. I'm going to go into the activity log. We'll see what those 5 buys were. And you can see the $100 deposit right there. There were 2 cents in the account that were not resolved. And also today, this morning, there was a buy, and that was the PNC dividend drip. The $8.34 was paid in the dividend, and then I automatically dripped that right into PNC. We'll see even $8.34 bought a little bit more, 0.04191 of a share of PNC. So we're going to see PNC's next dividend go up, and also with these 5 buys as well, we're going to see what the next dividend is going to be, as well as what the new monthly, quarterly, and annual dividend income will be going forward. So clicking on here in the activity log and the buys, we can see the first pick, Hershey's. Hershey's has just been getting hammered lately, and the share, I decided to buy more shares here. I put the $20 plus the 2 cents I was on resolve, so I bought 0.11248 more shares of Hershey's. And then next up is Lockheed Martin for $20, quantity 0.03626 of a share. And then FNF, I bought 0.33041 of a share. And then next up, BlackRock, $20 went in there, and that bought me 0.01947 of a share, so a tiny fraction, but you can see the share price for BlackRock is over $1,000. But I'll show you though that $20 will make a little bit of a difference on the next dividend. And then McDonald's, they had some bad news with the E. coli in their quarter pounders, so that kind of dropped their stock price a little bit. So I bought 0.06818 of a share of McDonald's. So we're going to move on to my spreadsheet. I'll leave a link below to this. You're welcome to use this yourself and put in your own dividend stocks. And I'll kind of show you how I have this arranged. You can see by the headings here, I have company, ticker symbol, share price, average share price, number of shares, market value, a cost basis, gain or loss for each position, and then that gain or loss expressed in a percentage. Anything 25% or above will be in green. Here is the quarterly dividend per share for each of these. I have SCHD in purple because it's a variable every quarter, and then I have 2 monthly pairs in blue with realty income and BST. We can see here is the current yield percentage if I were to buy more shares or fractional shares. Here's the current yield on my cost. So pretty much anything where I've bought it for cheaper than its current rate, my yield on cost is going to be more. And then here is the pay date, and I have everything on this sheet arranged by it, and I'll show you. Here are the dividends I've received. Technically this one, Lowe's, is going to come in tomorrow, and what will happen with the 746 is I'm going to drip that right back into Lowe's, and we're going to see that go up. We can see PNC, I already updated the sheet with the new fractional shares. So I was paid $8.34, but my next dividend that's going to pay me in February is going to be $8.40. And that's if I don't buy more fractional shares of PNC. And these are the actual dividends that are paid. Everything in this green is everything that's going to pay me in November. So I've had my first 3 dividends rolled in. And then what I do is I add up all the dividends received. You can see like the last one for Verizon, 59.88 is right here. And there is going to be my next dividend for Verizon after that dividend drip. You can see the total dividends. And then here's the last increase that's been announced. ADP just announced a dividend increase. I believe I have it over here. Let's see, and we scroll down here, and this is over at seekingalpha.com. And if I scroll down here, let's see if I can find the announcement. Here it is right here. So automatic data processing, or ADP, announces a dividend raise by 10%. So I was getting $1.40 before, and now it's $1.54. And I've already made that update, and I'll show you on the monthly average dividend tracking tab what that did to my dividend income. It made a little bit of a difference, and we can see what my next dividend is going to be, $4.43, and the last time it paid me was $4.01. You can see a pattern here of these dividends just keep going up and up, and I know they only go up by a few cents, it seems like, but with the 52 different positions, you can take those few cents times that 52, and a lot of times it's more than just a few cents. You can see with Verizon, it keeps compounding. What I've done is I've put the current dividend for Hershey's, BlackRock, FNF, and then McDonald's and Lockheed Martin. The reason I've done that is we're going to see these values change here. They're going to go up as I update the sheet, and hopefully when I do the update, for some reason it was giving me trouble with SCHD. It wasn't picking up the data for the average share price, the number of shares, and my cost basis. So hopefully I don't have to manually put that in. It looks like it's grabbing it okay. No, it's not. I did equals, yeah. Instead of, it's supposed to do a VLOOKUP, and I was having problems with it. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to paste in the new data and then try to copy it. Maybe from doing a refresh, let me try this real quick and see if it's is able to do the VLOOKUPs real quick. Based on that, no, it's still having problems. So let me undo that real quick. And I'll have to see what the problem is. I'm not sure if it's a data issue or what it is on the M1 data tab. For some reason, it just doesn't want to pick up that data just for SCHD. So I'll try to get that fixed. So you can see again, everything is arranged by the pay date. We scroll over, we are in November, obviously. Total dividends paid, here is the last increase, and then ADP over here, they had a 10% increase, and then the month, of course, was November. And what I did was I rearranged them with their new pay date based on this, plus 1 day. So you can see, yeah, payable January 1st. I add 1 day because M1 has a 1-day delay. So that's the actual day on January 2nd, 2025. That's what I'm going to receive for a new dividend. But that is if I don't buy more fractional shares of ADP. There's a chance I could buy more. So let's cover to the bottom. Part of the sheet we can see here is the market value of this portfolio. It's live, so it's going to be changing. Here's my cost basis. Here is my gain so far within just this portfolio. And this portfolio, by the way, it's 15% of my net worth. It's not meant to brag. It's just to show you that I am very well diversified. Most of my net worth is in ETFs like VTI and VU, as well as VTSAX, even VXUS for a little bit of international exposure. We can see here, here's the average yield of the portfolio. Here's the average yield on my cost. Here is the quarterly dividend, and I have to add in my monthly payers twice, BST and O. That's what this math is about, is I have to do a VLOOKUP for those two because I'm constantly rearranging these by dates, and I lose these O and BST in the shuffle, so I have to be able to find them and lock in their amounts here, and that 50901 is going to be multiplied by 2, so we have them paying 3 times in the quarter. Otherwise, O and BST are only paying me 1 time. in this when you add up this column. So I'd add them in twice to get the quarterly. So here is the monthly cash flow average, $999.78, very close to the 1,000 mark. We'll see if this update changes that and puts this at over $1,000, and then it would be 3,000 for quarterly and then 12,000 for annual. We'll see. I think it's going to be pretty close to pushing that over. And then over here I've got the links where I showed you the dividend raise. I pulled that from just going to this link over here in Seeking Alpha. And then dividend declarations, I look here for some historicals as well, just to look at the new dividend dates, things like that. What I'll do is, if I haven't seen an announcement like for Yum Brands, Home Depot, Vista, what I'll do is I'll start looking over there and see if they've announced a new dividend date, and I will then put the new dividend date and then resort the pile, reshuffle it. Like these are all going to be December pairs coming up. All of these pretty much going to be just 3 months plus 3 months on most of these. And you're just going to keep paying me, and it just, the cycle keeps going. And not only that, they're paying me more and more dividends as they cycle through. It just keeps going up and up. You can see my strategy. This is my second half video. I'm doing it a day or two early because I just have a lot going on to close out this week. And my strategy right now is I do two deposits of $100 each. On Monday, I let M1 do the picking based upon my allocations within the portfolio. And we can see there's like the actual target. I'm overweighted here. I'm way underweighted here. So any money I put in, it's going to go into this portion of the pie, into these 38 slices right here. So we'll see what happens on Monday. Chances are it's going to probably go into this slice. I'll leave a link below to my M1 pie so you can see what's all in the entire portfolio as well as these slices as well. So go back here and like I said before, my dividends, they're all reinvested right into the company that paid them. And if a dividend is cut or suspended, that stock will be sold. I'm a buy and hold investor. So if you're looking for me like for hot stock tips, I'm the wrong guy. I'm the guy who's going to show you how to build income streams mainly with dividends, and hopefully replace your W-2 job, if not maybe pay for a lot of your expenses at least. And then down here I'm tracking SCHD with their dividends here starting from 2022, 2024, and it complicated things since they did a stock splits 3-to-1. So this is what I predict the next stock is going to, or the next quarterly dividend is going to be, is 0.267, which is pretty much 0.8 is what I predicted before the stock split. So I'll have to kind of readjust all this, and we'll see what it comes up to. So on 1011, we can see the high watermarks from VTI, where a lot of my wealth is, and then as well as SCHD, where 3% above those already highs from October 11th. We just keep going up and up. So I'm expecting, when you own stocks, you have to expect a lot of turbulence and things like that. So we've just been lucky with this, fast rise that we've had. I don't think it's sustainable to have 30% gains year over year. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab some data from M1, and hopefully this doesn't mess things up. I'm going to start with the name column, grab everything here, and do a quick copy here. I take this data over to the M1 data tab. What it's going to do is it's going to change the number of shares, the cost basis, and the average. Where is it? Scroll over. No, I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it should be the average share price, shares, and cost basis. Those three things are going to change for the 5 positions where I bought more fractional shares. And I have those noted here with those 5 right there. So we'll go to the M1 data tab, paste this in. And again, SCHD was having issues, so I had to kind of do equals to pull these 3 values. Even though the 3 values were there in this column and pulling them, it wasn't pulling them. So I'll do some investigating to fix that. So let's see if it worked over here. And we can see with Hershey's, the old dividend was going to be $10.15. New dividend on approximately December 17th will be $10.31. And then BlackRock 998 was going to be the dividend on approximately December 24th. Now it's going to be above $10 at 10.08. And then next up, FNF going from 942 to 958, also expecting a dividend raise from FNF. If they do 6 or 7%, we're going to be well over the $10 there, and it's going to move it into the green. And we'll scroll down for the next two. And McDonald's going from 1369 to 1381. And then last up, Lockheed Martin going from 522 to 534. Remember back with BlackRock, it did make a little bit of a difference. We're at 998, and it looks like it added 10 cents of dividend income, even with $20 buying fractional shares of a $1,031.70 current share price. So it does make a little bit of a difference. Even $20 will move the needle a little bit. We'll take a look and see if we got above. It looks like this is crazy. It went to an even monthly cash flow average of $1,000 even, but it looks like it was short a penny here and 4 cents here to flip those. But it flipped the monthly. But the next move I do, it's going to surely move everything over the edge. So let's go to my monthly average dividend tracking tab. And on this tab, I track every instance of where I do a deposit, or there's a dividend raise, or a dividend decrease. List all those as well. Right now, SCHD has been really the only one that does a dividend decrease for me. I used to have JEPI in the portfolio. I cut it out, and those are some of the reds. But SCHD in the first and second quarters usually have a lower dividend. You can see in March, SCHD did one there, went a little bit lower. There was a larger one, and then they went back down. And then SCHD, yeah, right there, and their Q3 is just a little bit lower than their all-time high, 82 cents. So let's go to the last event here, which is the $100 deposit, and then the new monthly average dividend is now $1,000 even, and added 11 cents. And then tomorrow I'm going to have an event which is going to be Lowe's. We're going to receive that dividend from Lowe's, and I'm going to drip it. We're going to see it go up by a few cents, and I'll show you again with Lowe's. 746 is what's going to roll in, and we're going to see this next dividend change when it pays me again in February. It's going to go up by a few cents, maybe like 750 or 752, something like that. But every little bet just keeps moving the needle up and up. We can see with every event, sometimes it's a few cents, sometimes it's a little bit more with like AbbVie's 5.8% dividend increase, and sometimes it's multiple dollars as well when we have some bigger buys, like here with the BST JP Morgan dividend drip. It moved the needle to my monthly income by $3.44. But when you add all these up, let's just take a look at so far for November. I've added $4.48 to ongoing dividend income for the portfolio. And again, it's not just $4.48 one time, it's $4.48 every single month going forward. So it just keeps stacking on and compounding. So moving on to the dividend tracker tab. I've been doing these videos since January 2021, and here is the starting portfolio value. And where the start of this portfolio was pretty much, I would save my extra spending money every month, whether it was like $100, a couple $100. I was saving it for a couple years, as well as selling some things on eBay. And that's really where this portfolio started out from. It wasn't like a big, $15,000 dump into it. It was just really just kind of fun money that I decided to invest instead of spend it. And we'll just scroll down here to where we're at now, and we're at $276. This is the current value rounded to the nearest $100. You can see that round down. And then here are the total dividends I've received so far for November. We can look at last year. I received $619. I'm expecting more than that. You can see October was the last full month of dividends received at $608. And then last October was not even quite $550. So you can see how November we should see it'll be well above, who knows, maybe $650 or more is my quick kind of back of the envelope prediction. Here's the average monthly dividend. Here at 1,000, you can see how it's grown just from, let's go back to last November. It was at 865. You can see how it's gone up. And then we had a little setback with SCHD and their Q3 dividend, kind of reduced us down. But you can see now we're getting back to that $1,000 mark. We're just off by a few pennies to get to the 12,000 for annual dividends. Here's how we've increased the annual income, and that's every year going forward. And then here is my deposit of $100 to make it $200 for November. And then let's go to my total net worth statement. We'll close this video out. And like I said, 15% of my total net worth is what this portfolio is here. And I'll show you what the rest of it is. And we can see at Vanguard, I have an IRA here, and this is just extra money I was investing into my own IRA. You can see the value of this, as well as a small Roth IRA, $289, and then this is a taxable brokerage account at $183. And you can see what I've invested in right here, these ETFs. Here's a ticker symbol. They're boring index funds, but they work. At least they work for me. So here is my current employer. Since I started with them in March 2020, I don't even max out my 401k right now. And here you can see the value getting close to that $100,000 mark, all in an S&P index fund. And then here is I have an IRA at M1 as well. Sometimes I'll show it, but it's hard to click back and forth without, like, showing you account information. So it's kind of hard to do that with M1. But I'll do that again here in the future to show you, proof of this. I'd like to show the actual proof. A lot of people talk a big game about the dividends they've received and things like that, or what's in their portfolio. And I know I'm doing that with a sheet, but I like to show the proof, where I go over here and actually show you that activity. And one thing I do is when I receive all my dividends for the month, I recap it and show you the proof of these dividends, like here for like PNC and Verizon for the last dividends. I want to show you guys the proof. And so moving on, here's the value of the IRA in M1, over $710,000 there. Here is my M1 taxable brokerage account, which I focus most of my videos on this. And then over at M1, I have a savings account earning 4.5% interest. This is, to me, is like a 1-year emergency fund. And then over here at Synchrony, I have another emergency fund, more like a 6-month account at 4.3% interest. And a lot of people could argue I'm carrying way too much cash, and I would agree with you. I would not disagree with that. And the reason I do carry a lot of cash, probably too much, is I work in an industry that has had layoffs, tons of layoffs. I've seen so many people not survive, layoffs, and I've been lucky for decades not to be a victim of that. But I've always been well prepared. So if my employer decides to cut me loose, I'm going to be doing quite well and won't have to worry about it for quite a while. I could literally take a 1-year vacation and still have quite a bit left over with the 6-month fund, and then here's like a 2-month another additional fund earning 4% of Capital One. And then here is my only liability. Well, actually, this is my home value. We're getting to my only liability. I haven't updated. I have a small amount on my credit card, but I pay it off every month. It's like under $100, so I just have to go over and log in and get that amount. But right now it's at 0. But again, it's nothing more than like $100. And then, but here's my liability right now. It's outstanding, which is my mortgage, and I like to pay that off sooner than later. You can see here the 178 is less than. I could liquidate this taxable brokerage account at 183, but I'll have taxable events with all these. So I'm waiting for it to get to like the magic 190. Once it hits 190, I'll have plenty to pay off the capital gains off that transaction, and I'll have no mortgage. I'll just have my insurance pretty much to pay for my home and taxes as well. I can't forget property taxes. So here's my total net worth, creeping very close to that 1.8 million mark. You can see everything added up together in that column, and subtracting out this liability over here, you can see the minus E41. And here's also my average monthly dividend, and this adds up all of my income sources in here. And that doesn't not include my W-2. These are my investment income sources based on the amount of dividends over here. And what I did was I took an average, the 2023 dividend, and added up actually the annual amounts from 2023, because these are variable, a lot of these. So in 2024, at the end of 2024, I'm going to put in the new ones. We're going to see this rise, and year over year, most of the time, these ETFs pay higher and higher dividends of these, so we'll see those go up as well, and change this, the average monthly dividend, which is over $3,300. So if I had access to all this money, which I don't, I'm not 59 and a half, I would be getting an average monthly dividend of over $3,300 just from these investments right now. And I would bet that these investments are going to pay a much higher dividend by the time I have access to all of these. And plus all my future reinvesting of dividends, as well as my own money still investing, this is just going to keep growing like crazy. I'm also tracking since November 2022 my dividends received by month, and then also my W-2 income, which is net of taxes and benefits, medical and things like that, as well as 401k. And then here I'm subtracting out my expenses and then showing my gap. This is only including my W-2 income. I'm not including anything else like side hustles, anything like that. But here is my gap going forward, and I can also see my expenses. And it's a good idea to track your expenses, because everyone knows how much they make. Just about everyone can tell you how much they make, but you ask most people, how much do you spend? And a lot of people, they have no clue. But I can take a look and see my average spendings right there, 450816. If I wanted to retire or take a year off, I could pretty much take 450816 times 12 and come up with a pretty accurate number of what it's going to take for me to do absolutely nothing for a year. So I think it's really important to track all that stuff. And we can see here's the last gap. I had some high expenses in October, but I still had a gap there. And I also track my net worth, and it's going to be going up because I was at 1.742, and I'm right now at 1.793. And we can take a look where I started just back in November 2022. This is 2 years ago. You can see how much this has gone up. The difference here is staggering, and it's not because of a huge injection of money or anything like that. It was staying the course and just working, having this gap, reinvesting the gap, and then my investments, my prior investments, just going up in value, especially over the last year. The 30% rise pretty much in the stock market has accounted for this. But I also keep in mind that we could have another 2008, 2009. I could very well lose 50-55% of the value of this portfolio in the short term. So I always keep that in mind as well. So we can scroll down here, we can see the breakdown. You can read all that. Cash, carrying a lot of cash, but we'll see what I do with this going forward. I just feel comfortable carrying all this because it gives me it helps me sleep at night, and low stress. I don't have to worry about a job loss really for a long time. So that's all I had to show you guys. Let's see if I timed out over at M1. I didn't. I'll review those buys again. Again, they were Hershey's, Lockheed Martin, F&F, BlackRock, and McDonald's. Let me know in the comments below what you're going to be buying to close out this week, or let me know what you think of these picks. Thanks everybody for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and also commenting. When you guys leave comments, that's great. We have interaction and things like that. So thanks for leaving comments. Also for clicking the like button and subscribing. You guys are the best. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Take care.